Yeah, Tort's actually behaving, so treat yourself. Tort behaves. There we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody out in internet land. Cryptid, Ghostly, Oprasoria. Everybody, all the cool kids are in. All the cool kids are in class today. What is up? All right, we're gonna go ahead and kill that. Make sure all that's working. But bam! How's everybody doing today? How art thou? Fine folk of the internet. Uh-oh, did my timer? Hold on, I gotta reset the timer. Apparently the timer doesn't want to work. All right. Is that correct? There we go. That work? Hey, there's the timer. Cool. Bum bum bum. Oh, nice! I sent you a picture of the camera. Okay, all right. Let me check out the camera. And what did you say? In a poor quality director's photo? Okay, all right. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean there was a. Oh, I was thinking of a different camera, but it's got a little hand note on it. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad camera. AVC HD. Of course it's recording on those HVAC S cards. Jesus Christ. And you got a director's... There you go, Ghostly. That is... Proper... That real shit, Ghostly. Real shit. Love it. You know, directors do like being in camo. I'll give it that. Directors like that camo shit. So, like, it actually fits in a lot of ways. Oh, that's funny. It actually is really well framed. I'm not gonna lie, Ghostly. You framed it. You got the camera up. You're in the pose, but you're like obscured. It's perfect. It's actually a perfect like director photo. To be honest with you. It works. Let's see here. What, also, I just forgot to say yesterday, I liked your shirt yesterday. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, the Uzumaki. I think I was wearing the Junji Ito long sleeve. I'm glad. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I will have a cookie, but not for Tort, since it stresses me out all the time. He does not deserve. But Oprasoria, Tort is working. Like, Tort is actually, like, Tort's doing good. You should have a cookie. Tort's working. I am here, and I have Vamp Book. I just forgot that I don't have Word on here yet, so I need like 5 minutes. No worries, no worries. We got Vamp Book. We are gonna finish Ghostly's the last three, last 3 pages. Since I promised we would finish that before we get off onto other projects. So, Upper Sorry, you deserve cookies just by being you. Agreed. Yeah, there should not be any value qualifier for getting cookies. Upper Sorry gets fucking cookies. Let's see. I was gonna say I need a bear hat now. Oh, the stupid ass bear beanie. I wonder if I still have that. If it hasn't just I mean, that thing was falling apart by the end of that shoot. I might, if I can find it, if I still have the bear beanie, I might not. It might be gone. But if I still have the bear beanie, I will maybe wear it. But that all depends on whether or not bear beanie still exists. Bless you, Bat's eyelash. Okay, I might actually get a cookie. LOL. I'll be right back. Exactly. Yeah, get a goddamn cookie. Yeah, Opera Soria is powered by work. Please don't. It makes me so sad. So sad. Thank you. Yes, we need it. Lost Boys watch party featuring Bear Beanie. Yeah, that's true. That is true. What? I will not be on camera for watch parties. There is no on camera for watch parties. You gotta focus on the movie. We are focusing on film and cinematic beauty. The goth vampire, heavily queer vibes that are Lost Boys. Gotta focus on these things. I have thought, I think we're going to start obviously with like Lost Boys and do a watch party of Lost Boys. The watch party for Lost Boys goes well. What I might do is I might do like a film series. Try to do like try to set up some sort of watch party that's like, you know, the quote unquote, the Twilight canon, or essentially movies I think every person should watch. So I might do something like that. We'll see. It depends if I can get it to work and how well like the Lost Boys things work, because sometimes like doing those kind of streams can be a little weird. So yeah, the Twilight criterion. Yeah, exactly. The curated the Twilight curation of at least the formative films, formative cinematic films that I think people would like. How long will stream be tonight, Sensei? At least there will be 3 sprints. We should do 3. That's the goal. So 3 sprints. We started a little bit late, but we're gonna aim for 3. So it should be the usual like 3.5 hours about, I think. I will probably have to pop out for a while because Ghostly is currently caretaking a human child, and a child must be put. Oh Jesus, Ghostly! Yes, you might have to do bedtimes for the human child. Priorities. Yeah, I've definitely. Once I reached that age where like most of my friends were having kids or have had kids, there is a weird thing that your friends just do to you where they just start handing you the child. They're like, "Here you go." And I'm just like, what about, like, aside from just being a human being and there's like some lizard brain part of you that's like, I guess, designed to care for this thing, like, what makes you think that I should have any responsibility over this strange child? But they do that. They love, it's like, I feel like it's a weird thing that they love to. I remember my brother did that to me for my nieces. Like, just was like, "Good luck." I'm like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. It's just, what do I do when it, like, I don't know, wants something? I don't know what to do. I have been abandoned with a child, given it is a 10-year-old child, but apparently it's not self-sufficient yet. Yeah, that's right. Cryptid, nah, you got to get my consent to do that. And answer is always, that only has 2 legs. No, that only has 2 legs. No. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like 4 legs. If it's a fur baby, I'm good. But like, if you start doing that, pulling that crap with kids, I was going to say a 10-year-old is usually they can take care of it. I mean, not that they can take care of themselves, but usually I feel like you can set things up so that they can occupy themselves. That they kind of, they have their, they can do that, right? I feel like every time I've been around 10-year-olds, you can kind of like just quote unquote give them a project, and they tend if you at least like get them interested in it, they'll occupy their own time just kind of doing their own thing. But I guess I maybe this is just like an old person thing, Cryptid, but I feel like I mean I was like going to school and all that shit by myself in elementary school, so definitely probably around that age, Cryptid, like 8, 9, 10. I was definitely kind of operating on my own. Wow, okay, I'll just go get my cane, thank you. I mean, like, but there is like, I do feel like there's a weird gap about, like, there was the time where, like, I think there is a certain age group where we were at the tail end of, like, kind of the pre, I mean, stranger danger and all that shit was always a thing, and parents always kind of freaked out about that stuff, but, like, it kind of more depended on your parents. I don't know. My parents left me to the wolves so many times. They just, like, off you go. Good luck. Like, I could, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I came home, like, having people thought I had died. And my parents are like, well, he looks fine. I mean, maybe we'll take him to the doctor, but, let's see here. Wait. Ghostly has never had to look after a small human overnight. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever done that. Overnight as the adult before. Yeah, luckily I don't think I've had to do that. I have not definitely not like a child. I've had to, like, I guess quote unquote sit my niece once, but I don't even that wasn't even fully overnight. That was just for like an evening. And she was pretty, she can do, all you had to do was just kind of play games with her, and she was fine. But it wasn't like an infant. And I do not feel like this should be legal. How am I the adult here? I'm. That doesn't go away, Ghostly. I still feel that way. The world is regretfully worse. Ghostly thinks. No, there definitely is. The 90s was a time. Yeah, exactly. We are the don't come home till... Yeah, that's right. I think we were the very end of that sort of... I mean, like, the world is definitely worse, but, like, I'm pretty sure if I go look at, like, statistics and numbers, I don't think, like, actual... I don't think any of that stuff is actually... I don't think a lot of that stuff has actually gotten worse. Maybe. I'd have to go, like, look at, like, numbers, like missing persons and assault reports and all that stuff. But I think a lot of that stuff I mean, crime on average has gone down since the 90s. I mean, it was a lot more dangerous crime-wise back when Cryptid and I were young. The 90s, I mean, crime peaked in the, like, late 80s, early 90s. That was, like, real, there was some real shit going down. You'll do great. 10 is pretty easy. It's not a toddler. You'll do great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just kind of told her, don't break yourself. Don't break anything. Don't forget to eat. Yeah, that's all they need. Ghostly, that's what they need. Oh my God, I just got a text from my grandmother asking if we were okay. So the grandmother is already worried. That's very funny. Oh boy. Well, Ghostly's got... Yeah, I fucking quit. That's like someone told the grandmother, just like, you left the child with who? Oh my God, I gotta get on the phone right now. Yeah, that's you'll do fine, Ghostly. You will do fine. It's at that age they're fine. They'll just give them something to occupy themselves. They'll entertain themselves. Kids are pretty good at that. Where we got here? Well, this is good. Today has been a very long and arduous day for me, so I'm very glad we finally get to kind of just hang out and get some words done. Because today was too hot and too long. Here, you little Gen Alpha, I have an iPad. Don't give it an iPad. I mean, I guess that is kind of a parenting 101 now. Like, have an iPad so they can tap. They do their little tap things. Do you still have a living room wall? Yeah. I just sent my mom a screenshot saying, "Get your mother out of my DM." There you go, Ghostly. Perfect. Oh, anywho, well, now that Ghostly's getting harassed, yeah, we should probably start on in and finish up Jessup. So let's go and do that. Let us do the last few pages. Yeah, it's what, 3 pages? All right, we'll read the last 3 pages of Jessup, and then we will run ads, and then we will dive into our first sprint. Yeah, we left off with "Fuck, I'm old" because he just saw how young Hadley was. Alrighty. So yeah, we'll dive on in. We'll never find out what happened to Twilight. Nothing happened. I just have a giant gaping hole in my living room now. That is going to be there for a while, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about it. It's like right behind. It's where all my electronics are. It's like where everything is in my flippin' living room. It is. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm not grumpy about it, but I'm a little bit grumpy about it because the last time they left a hole in my wall, it was like 6 months before they came and patched it up. So I just had a giant gaping hole in my wall. You know, just makes it every time you come home. Makes you feel great. Makes you feel like everything's totally okay. That you're not living in some like slumlord apartment. All right, let me get the creepy tunes here. What's going on here? I'll fly over with some drywall if I drill. Right? See, I mean, like if I wasn't paying rent and these people weren't their goddamn job, I would absolutely just do it myself. I've done drywall. I had to do it with my dad all the time. But no, I'm not spending my own labor and my own time. They already get enough money from me a month in this obscenely expensive city. Just disassociate like a healthy. Thanks, Ghostly. You know what? That's the plan. That's what we're doing. Just gonna disassociate and just, it's not there. Just blindside it. All right, where's my... Dude, we want some here. All right, you know what? Because of the vibe, the app, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Opera Soria, and I do not trust them to do that, which is why I haven't done that. But yes, you are correct. Yeah, if you do it, you have to make sure that they deduct both your time and the expenses. Hang a tab. Luckily, the TV and kind of the quote unquote, like, I guess it's more like a dresser, but like the quote unquote entertainment stand blocks most of it. But like, if I walk past it, you know, I just look behind. You can look behind the TV, and there's just a giant hole with a bunch of crap. And I have to kind of like segment it so Golden Boy doesn't like think it's a place to play in because there's a bunch of like fiberglass and all that, you know, the insulation. So I have to like kind of segment it off because he will, because that's, you know, cats. That's what they do. Just call it open concept. Yeah. It's an art thing. It's an artist loft. Anyway. All right. I think actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna play just because I feel like it fits the vibe of the story a lot more. The whole Appalachian thing. We're gonna play Ethel Cain's fantastic, spooky, moody album, Perverts. So that's gonna be the mood music. It's definitely her doing her not like lyrical pop songs. It's more her doing like spooky soundscapes. So I just feel like it fits the Appalachian vibe a little bit. So we're gonna throw that on. Also, fucking great album. Like definitely like one of my favorite. Yeah. If you have not listened to her album Perverts, which came out this year, I highly recommend it. It's very good. Do Ethel has so much. Yeah, it makes. That's why I thought I was thinking of it. It just her photography matches a lot of your stuff. Ad break first. No, it's fine. We can run an ad break after because we're just reading 3 pages here. We're not doing a full sprint. We're just finishing what I wasn't able to finish yesterday. So we'll run an ad break after. So in like 10 minutes, however long it takes to finish this up. We're mixing it up. We're getting crazy. We're ruining the flow. Okay. All right, everybody. Go get a cookie, Opersoy. Opersoy deserves cookies and hugs and cheers. Okay, I'm shouting out Opersoy. Go get a cookie. Cookie turned into getting lunch. Good. Okay. Good. Yeah. Please eat. All right. Let us start on this little spooky story. Okay. Fuck. I'm old. Visions of the little girl who wore oil shirts as dresses flashed in his mind. She would never willingly wear shoes. They were always something Oil had to wrestle on her. On more than one occasion, Booker could recall Oil holding her upside down as he pushed her sneakers onto her feet. Now what was he wrestling her over? Staying out late, going out with guys, leaving home. Logically, he knew time kept ticking even after he left, but he didn't really understand it until then. This is great, Ghostly. I'm always going to be a big fan of this kind of stuff. Like really following the trickling thoughts. It's visualizing. It's texture. It's all texture to the emotional experience of what you're describing. Logically, he knew time kept ticking even after he left, but he didn't really understand it until then. It was that little moment where his memories were no longer up to date, and Jessup wasn't frozen forever 12 years in the past. He scrolled down. There wasn't much, but his about listed he was from Jessup, Appalachia, and he was 34 years old and single, and that he worked at Cornwall Automotive. He only had 3 pictures in his gallery. The first one of the Jessup skyline, the second of Hadley on his truck, and the last picture was another one of Hadley. She was stood on her mama's porch. The Abernathy's front porch was a cooler. That kept the better moments of his childhood preserved. Oh, nice. That's good. It's good use of a cooler as a visual metaphor. I like that. It's on theme too. Hey, welcome in, Poison Dart. We're just finishing up Ghostly's story here before we dive into some sprints. It's been good. Hope you have been well as well. Okay, where was I? Okay, there we go. She was stood on the second step. She wore a white sundress spotted with little yellow flowers. She was smiling, but it was clear she was uncomfortable getting her picture taken. The only written caption on Oil's page hung over her photo, and it simply read, "She grew up when I blinked my eyes." Aw. It's very either dad or big brother line for sure. Yeah, for sure, Poison Dart, 100%. Booker sat back. A shallow breath escaped his lips, and with a part of it drifted away his soul. He was about to close the app and have the third existential crisis of the day when he noticed there was a comment on the picture. His trembling finger clicked it. The post was from 6 months ago, but the comment was a week old. Bobby Reed was an old lady by the grainy profile picture. Booker distantly recalled Oil's mama's maiden name being Reed, but that wasn't really a conscious thought. His attention was on the string of words. "Are y'all okay over there? We're all praying for Jessup. Y'all stay safe. Love y'all." Booker felt a cold sweat trickle down his back as he was met. What's that supposed to mean? His fingers were moving before he could think. Facebook was buried back where it belonged as he pulled up Google. His fingers didn't hesitate this time as they typed Jessup into the search bar. The fear of the unknown could overpower a wildebeest, and his reluctance wasn't quite a wildebeest strength. Nice. I like that. The general and brief information about the long-forgotten mining town in the hills of Appalachia popped up. A few grainy images from around town accompanied by a few black and white ones of what it used to be. He scrolled down to be met by the first article. Four citizens missing in 1 week. It was dated from the week previous. Booker clicked on it and skimmed it like he was taking college classes again. Abraham Stokes, 52, missing Thursday night. Last seen leaving Leonore's bar. Lee Curtis, 34, Friday night. Vanished during hunting trip. Deer stand found empty. Yeah. Ruby Mayhew, 17. Last seen early Saturday morning. Disappeared after late night's party at Kathy Anderson's. Nice. Annabelle Oswald, 7. Put to bed Saturday night. Bedroom window found open. Nice. You're doing a really good job. You're doing a really good job moving. It's setting up the, moving into the sort of, obviously, the more plotty horror elements of it. The discovering the mystery. It's a really good way to, linger into the backstory, figure out who this character is, and really, emotionally have us invested as, the spooky turn happens mid-chapter. So I think you set that up and are paying that off well. Booker's throat burned as it constricted. You can see the violence ramping up from what few clues we get. Really good stuff, yeah. It's really the turn. I think the turn was really solid, smooth. You don't feel the plot, and that's what's important. His skin was icy hot, like he was playing hopscotch between a meat locker and the Sahara Desert. His first thought was Beth and the kids, but his second was Oil and Hadley. Then his third was the fact that Oil's Facebook was a ghost town, and Beth hadn't called him. The logical part of him said it was because they were okay. But Booker was too deep into his own graveyard to listen to reason. That's a great line. I love that phrase, too deep into his own graveyard. Big fan of that. It only took a matter of seconds for 12 years of soul-sucking labor to be forgotten and tossed into the wind. 12 years of labor just trying to forget a town that you can't stop thinking about. In that kitchen floor, surrounded by pictures of the past he had put away, and faced with the reality it kept festering when he closed his eyes, there was no Seattle. Nice. There was no police consultant job he had worked his ass off just to neglect. There was no watery relationship he had been washing in and out of. There was no Booker. There was only Jessup. Nice. Big fan of this. And only the people he could never move on from. And there was Boone. He didn't think as he punched the phone button and it started ringing. Then Jones answered, and before he could even get a hello in, he was talking over. Yeah, Jones, something's come up. Nice. That's such a good line, washing in and out of. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to describe just transient relationships. That's great, Ghost. So your ending is fantastic. The ending of this chapter is really good. Yeah, the thing that I really like, obviously what you're building, the kind of lore you're building about it's very this is a thing with Gothic. I mean, a lot of horror fiction, specifically Gothic fiction, and you're definitely leaning into the Southern Gothic vibe. It's one of the things I like so much about Twin Peaks, is that Twin Peaks, obviously the show, the inciting incident is, this murder of this person who is enigmatic in the town, and everybody knows them, has a story about them, and it's kind of all. But as you're discovering this murder, you find out more about the town. But the town itself is a character. The town itself is kind of this all-encompassing, almost mythical eldritch being itself. And you're doing a really good job with the language of making Jessup be this thing. Because so much of horror, particularly Gothic horror, is just always about the past. It's always going to be about some form of reconciling something from the past. Because a lot of it has to do with trauma or alienation. So I think you're doing a really good job of playing into those sort of more foundational archetypal anxieties that tend to make horror really land and resonate with people. But it's also building a sense of curiosity and wonder. And that, being tied back to your Starman is, which is this sort of obviously I'm always going to be a fan of you introducing some sort of creature and or thing that is more apathetic, like not necessarily hostile, but more removed, and just sort of purely how do I like truly beyond human morality and or concerns. I find that a lot more interesting. And so you setting that kind of dynamic up really does make it makes it land. It's really, man. It also makes me just be like want to be like Ghostly needs to watch Twin Peaks because it's really landing that kind of vibe really well. So you're doing a great job, Ghostly. This is my personal favorite thing I've read of yours. It's definitely in my wheelhouse so far. But it's definitely in that. I am thoroughly enjoying reading this as just a reader, not even as to give you notes and critique. But I really am enjoying this a lot. Yes, and you do it while showing it. Exactly. That's why you're. It's very easy to show things, but you're able to kind of tie the emotional journey. You're able to tie it to the emotional elements of the characters, which is that's what you need to do. Because otherwise it can just come off as like trite or random or not really particularly it's just not going to resonate. It's not going to hit as hard. Which is the entire story so far. Yeah, this does such a good job of teasing out the supernatural without stating it outright. Yeah. And that sort of grounded supernatural is, I tend to think that works better as like wild as I like to go with some of my horror elements, but I think really grounding it into its kind of core, more human, very subdued elements is key here, particularly for the type of story it is. There's already so much texture and spookiness and weirdness about the woods and swamps and the primal areas of both the mind and the locality, where the things you're exploring, the sort of the outside is not dissimilar to the psyche of the person that's exploring it. And there's plenty of, this goes all the way back to Conrad and Hearts of Darkness and all these sort of things. So you're playing in a very powerful wheelhouse, Ghostly, and you're doing a very good job with it. One that I'm very impressed that you're able to really handle this well. It's not an easy thing that you're doing. And you are handling it very well for someone who's just taken their first step into the world of horror writing. So it's thoroughly impressive. Therefore, I was very inspired by watching. Oh, well, thank you. I try, but I think you are doing your own thing and doing your own thing in a very, very well crafted and well structured way. So it speaks to your talent as a writer. And also just how hard you work as a writer as well. I think also one of my is also one of my favorite images. Yeah, the blotted out kid picture is super creepy. It's super fucking creepy. It's definitely got a little bit of like True Detective vibes for sure. That's Boone, by the way. Okay, that's supposed to be Boone. Very cool. Every draft I've seen of this has grown so much, and the lace is brilliant. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Very big fan of this. I think I'm a little desensitized for the most part because it's very much a culture I'm from. Yeah. I mean, it's not so much desensitized, but I mean, I think it allows you to kind of find your own way into making kind of like try to communicate some sort of emotional feeling about a place that you are very much like in tune with, a place that you very much come from. And that's good. I think you might not register consciously, like in terms of your intention as you're writing it and crafting it, but it's definitely there. And that's also kind of the alchemical magic of doing any kind of art is going to be like letting that more subconscious part of you play, and then as you kind of recognizing it when that is in play, and being able to kind of direct it a little bit I think that's actually more when people talk about like honing your craft and getting better. I think it's learning certain technical skills that work for you to kind of harness a little bit of that more subconscious stuff that you're always playing with. I'm very excited for you to get to When Things Get Bad. I am very excited to get to When Things Get Bad because we're only halfway through. So are you done, Ghostly? Is this finished or are you still currently writing it? Or are you still currently adding chapters? Yeah, very proud. Yeah, I love how this starts up with the miserable, washed-up man, and that's the good. Yeah, that definitely is my wheelhouse. Like, I feel like that's something I do a lot, where it's like usually a note I get back for a lot of my story. Particularly, I mean, Blue Devils is a unique thing, and that's kind of me working in a similar wheelhouse of like people really down on their lives, encountering something in a very dark town that's all around this one singular place. But that is kind of the critique I get, is like it's just everybody's so miserable. Which is why for Schism I tried to make everybody much more. There was a lot more levity to the characters, at least initially, and trying to like persevere through the darkness with a little bit of that. I'm not even to the point where not even close. God, I'm not even to the point where things are bad. Oh, exciting, excited! I'm very very excited to get there. Um, I may be a third of the fourth. I haven't left the first act yet. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. This is gonna be a bit of a this is gonna be a work of some significance. It seems like. Well, can't wait to read all of it, Ghostly. It's a slow burn. I mean, you're moving pretty quick, I'd say. You're making it work. As slow it is, it's definitely not boring. Um, all right. Well, we are gonna run ads, and then we will dive in to our first sprint of the day. But yeah, we finished this. We will come back, I'm sure, in the future to move on to part 4. Um, I don't know how to do anything else. Do what you want to read and what makes you happy, Ghostly. That's the most important thing. Do what you want. Do you want to write tonight or read more? You got Vamp. Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. You got Vamp. No, we can read. If you want me to read for the first 2 sprints, we can do that. Do what we did. Do it or the first sprint. However much you want me to read. I mean, I was going to be doing research. I was literally going to be reading. There were 2 papers on AI that I was going to read during our sprint, so I was going to be reading anyway. Because I'm in that headspace right now. But yes, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you, Ghostly. You're doing fantastic work here. Absolutely fantastic work. Let me go ahead and go ahead and drop you. Actually, it's funny. Well, that's what are we doing? All right, are ads running? I think ads are running. Okay. Um. Wait, where are we? Another night. Wait. Okay, let me catch up on. Sorry, chat just bounced around a bunch. I finally got around to revising the opening, so now it's a lot better and more painful. Okay, all right, that's good. It's how long is this doc? 4.6K. Okay, 11 pages. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on. How fast I can read. Trigger warning for graphic violence, but no one dies. Okay. No one dies that you don't want to die. That's funny. I mean, 11 pages, that's probably about a sprint's worth, maybe a little bit more. I haven't really clocked how many pages I can get through on a single one. It kind of depends, I think. I would say it might be like a sprint and a half. But we can do that. That's fine. So we are going to be reading for the sprints. We're going to be reading Cryptids. Which one? It's Vamp Book. Okay, it's not. Was not Witch Punks. Vamp Book. Yeah. If you make it a PDF and send it to me, I can drop that into the. I can bring that up. Where am I? Are we still in ads? Okay, we're still in ads. Let me get water really quick. Okay, we are back. We are back. Okay, I am going to. No Witch Punks is going aside for now until someone can kick my ass enough to query it. So it's a vamp. Okay. So queer, so vamp book and spy books for now. Got it. Okay, yeah. Vamp book sounds great. Okay, I will put it in a PDF for your non-word having stuff. Yeah, it's mostly just it's because Microsoft does all kinds of weird shit. It's like makes it impossible for me to even view it. Oh, they have to make my. All right, I'm gonna go get water, and then we will use the first sprint to dive into Cryptid's Witch Punks. All right. Whoa. Ba-bam, da 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 do do. Cryptid. Oh boy. All right. I need to go make sure this ADHD goblin baby actually goes to sleep. I'll hopefully be back before stream is over. Cryptid, big Sam, I'm gonna miss Vamp Book, but I know you freaking crush it. We all know that we all know that Cryptid's gonna crush it. Vamp Book, no witches. You'll get alternating POVs and queer vampires in the summer of '89. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, summer '89. Oh man, full on Lost Boys vibes for sure. All right, let me bring this up. Bye y'all. Yeah, Ghostly. Good luck with the creature. It's okay. I know you'll watch the VOD. It screamed to me later. It's true. Given Ghostly's habit of spying on the VODs constantly. All right. Let me go and do this. We shall swab in your absence. Swab in your honor, Ghostly. Wait a minute. 1 second. I need to change. That's true. That is true. It's not spying when it's publicly available. That is, you are not wrong. Switch. Hey, look at that. Oh my god, it's so nice when I make technology actually work. I can just swap it out. Oh, oh god, I love it. Love it. Okay. Okay, let's switch up tunes here. We got, oh, you know what? Since we're doing, okay, we're Dallas, Texas, 1989, alternating Vamp. We're going to do, I don't know if you have ever seen Near Dark. but it's Tangerine Dream. One, it's a great vampire movie directed by Catherine Bigelow. Fantastic film. But Tangerine Dream, who is one of my favorite bands, did the soundtrack for that movie. And it's all, it's all essentially, it's been a long time, but yes, yep. Classic, old school 80s. So we're going to switch over to some Tangerine Dream for this. Cool. She's just got a keen eye. It's because Opera Soria has had a cookie. There you go. Opera Soria got cookie and lunch and probably needs an extra cookie. All right, let's dive on in. Happy writing for everybody out there. If you are writing, good luck with the words. Hope they treat you well. We are going to be reading. The first chapter of the Vamp book from Cryptid. So feel free to mute if you are going to be doing the words. If not, join us to read along. Okay. Happy writing, and away we go. And of course, immediately the child screams, "Buddy." This book is the gayest thing I've ever written, so buckle up. We're about to get real. We're about to get real gay in here. That's fine. Dallas, Texas, 1989. Danny had been waiting in line for 20 minutes tops, and already it felt like his skin was going to crawl off. It had nothing to do with the weather. He'd taken care to cover up. Hairy legs were hidden under old Levi's that had started needing a belt. Sweat was already pooling under his wife beater from the denim jacket zipped as far up his chest as it could go without looking like a tool. Nice. Without emphasizing that he didn't normally have to look at all. Like, normally have to look at all. The sun beating down across his back finally dipped below a skyscraper. Nice. I mean, I know that skyline. Finally dipped below a skyscraper, and the sigh of relief turned into quiet laughter that echoed down the line. He thought he'd be more comfortable, at least without the other layer, but he wasn't. Hands he no longer knew what to do with kept rolling and unrolling the cuffs of his jacket. An itch on his scalp went ignored because girls didn't do that. Oh, okay. He hadn't painted his nails, but maybe he should have. Maybe it would have helped. Nice. I like this. This like general like this sort of version of peacocking, but this uncomfortable all these things, this anxiety, but but also the uncomfortableness, the itch of the scalp that went ignored because you're not supposed to. Yeah, I like that. He hadn't been unwrapped in public. Yeah, genderqueer life problems. Yeah, for sure, right. It's all this sort of this difficulty presenting. He hadn't been unwrapped in public in half a year. I have to go in cis drag today. Yep. He hadn't been unwrapped in public in half a year. Stolen lipstick and mascara from the supermarket nearest the YMCA complete the disguise. But this was the only punk show he's seen pop up in town since he's gotten off the bus weeks ago, and it was Girls Get In Free. Free was the only kind of show Danny could afford. Nice. Nervous eyes were moving too fast. He knew it, and he couldn't do shit about it. A voice that sounded too much like his foster dad told him everyone was looking at him. Eek. It was bullshit, but tonight it was convincing bullshit. Even though the shaved head, hodgepodge patches on his jacket from zines out west, and well-worn docs made it clear Danny belonged here. Nice. But none of that would matter if someone clocked him. If they realized the real reason Danny wasn't wearing a bra and had nothing to do with feminism at all. Danny didn't know what the fuck Danny was, and no one else did either. I like that. I like Danny didn't know what the fuck Danny was. That's real shit. The only certain thing was Danny wasn't a girl, despite a long history of homes and trinks and schools insisting otherwise. Boy was just an uncomfortable pair of jeans and a fit better than two small pair of tights. Nice. To anyone that asked, Danny was David fucking Bowie. But no one ever asked. It was easier to keep anyone from getting close enough to try. Loneliness was a lot less painful than another person letting him down. Oof. Great character introduction so far. cryptid. I mean, it's like I see this, I can see this character completely, and also I see this character strutting down the street in Dallas, just in complete and utter, like, just completely isolated in that situation, that landscape. Thank you. I struggled with this for so long, and then I dig deeper. Yeah, I mean, you're painting an extraordinarily clear. I mean, these are like I can, like, to anyone that asked, Danny was David fucking Bowie, but no one ever asked. It was easier to keep anyone from getting close enough to try. Great. Yep. And then, yeah, loneliness was a lot less painful than another person letting him down. It's all, one, puts us in the headspace. Two, gives us the broader social context. Also, the context of, it's like what society we're in. Like, particularly because you're doing extra work, because you're doing a lot of the gender queer work here. So you're having to do more than just introduce, just a simple character who belongs in a society that you're having to do, like, here's how all the performativity issues are happening. Like, you're definitely painting them as this sort of fish out of water in a city that is highly alienating, if not hostile. So it's good. It's good work. Someone started clapping, and it echoed down the line in applause. I had to do genderqueer, but also this era and this culture. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of times they're always going to be kind of writing and figuring out how to write in the language at the time. And like what the lingo of this would be, particularly in like at the turn of the, from late 80s to early 90s. Where this was still very fringe. I mean, I don't think it was any more out there than it was in the 70s at the time. It was pretty fringe in the 70s, in terms of awareness and language around it. Twink didn't exist yet, so fun. Oh, that was fun to figure out. Yeah, that's always going to be the hard part about doing period work, man. Anytime you're doing period work is figuring out particularly the language, and the language of subcultures is a real challenge. Okay, where are we? Someone started clapping, and it echoed down the line in an applause too formal for a crowd where most of their clothes had holes in them. At long last, the line was beginning to move. He took his hand off the zipper of his jacket and tried to keep them at the sides as he debated the merits of flashing the guy in line for a cig. Oh, hey, welcome in, Kimmy, welcome in. We're doing more reading. Today we are reading cryptid stuff. But welcome. I'm sure you're working, so feel free to lurk too if you need to. Where are we? Yeah, okay. He took his hand off the zipper of his jacket and tried to keep them at his sides as he debated the merits of flashing the next guy in line for a cig. Nice. A smoke would make the shaky hands easier to hide. What if the bouncer took him for a fucking junkie? Swearing under his breath, he shoved his hands in his pockets instead. Danny wouldn't dare. He barely had food money, let alone scratch for anything else. Besides, he saw what happened to vulnerable chicks caught unaware, reduced to headlines and shouted to a populace who wouldn't even look at them until they were found floating in the Green River. Nice. Very, 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 yeah. Particularly in the 80s like that, that's an observation. Yeah, particularly for how we treat women, particularly in the 80s. I mean, all the time, but it was prominent. Hands turning to fists in his pockets, Danny took another step forward. The door was in sight. The bouncer was calling down the line for IDs out. Danny swore in relief. The faster Danny got inside, the sooner he could leave the girl mode behind. Danny sorted as a couple of kids got turned away. No ID. In their defense, it was fucking odd to see a bouncer this side of downtown. Blocks of nothing but shuttered grocers and rusting warehouses. It always looked tempting to crash, but Danny knew better than to trust it. A place this empty was bound to be patrolled by cops, with nothing better to do, or nabbed by the exact person cops should have looked for, but never did. He'd thank the bouncer for a narc if it wasn't for the pink triangle patch at the on his battle jacket. Ah, there you go. Yeah. I'm telling you. Danny heard someone laugh further up the line. I know my own kind. He's about as straight as Freddy. Okay. Nice. Danny shifted his feet to look around the tall, bald dude in front of him. A guy with a Liberty Spike, the guy with Liberty Spikes dyed red smacked a smaller guy with a long acid green curls on the shoulder. That's what you said about Wham, boss. And I'm right, Tanya. Have I ever been wrong? Have I been wrong? A woman with big dark hair and a neon yellow leather jacket took a drag of her cigarette as if thinking it over. Well, that doesn't count. Green Mullet protested, though his grin was bright as his hair. He plucked the cigarette out of her mouth and took a drag before handing it back. His fingers were covered in tattoos that Danny couldn't make out. None of the Bridge Gang knew the truth about Danny. They wouldn't share smoke like that if they did. He learned that lesson the hard way from the dykes back in Portland, who only pretended to welcome butches until one of them got too masked for a for a group with a girl in its name. Ooh. Or a GRL, I'm assuming girl, in its name. Yeesh. Yeah, you're digging, you're going deep into some stuff out of here, man. I can't even imagine what, like, those sort of, like, that kind of culture, particularly in Portland specifically. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, okay, we got it. Nod to Riot Girl. Got it. Riot Girl stuff. Got it. All right, let me see here. Okay. Would Green Mullet or Tanya let him bum one off off them if he asked? What was the code for this? Hey, I'm a fan of Wham. There were only a few people between them, a couple of girls and a bald guy. Danny could slip past without too much trouble. His shitty Bic lighter had already traveled from his pocket to his fidgeting hand. Hey, gorgeous, you need something to do with that? Danny didn't look up for a long moment. No one ever called him gorgeous. Most thought Danny spelled his name Danny. It was the bald guy. He looked younger than the back of his head had led him to believe. He was holding out a pack, flipped open an offering. Danny forced a smile and took one, lighting it and taking a drag. The shakes were slowing down already. You overheard that too, huh? He asked. All right. Oh, there we go. Danny shrugged. Only a little. Shame. They're even allowed in. The fuck's a fag doing here? This ain't a place for sissies. Ooh. Oh, that sucks. Everything about this sucks. And of course it's a fucking... Yeah, I should have said, bald guy, if the guy's bald and turns around and he's young, that tells you something. Danny nodded, chain smoking to avoid speaking. He wanted to tell him to fuck off. But when he looked up, Green Mullet and his friends were already gone. The next drag had him choking on the smoke. Somehow he traded the shakes for a heart that seemed determined to crack his ribs from the inside out. Just fantasizing about beating the shit out of this kid. Air he'd been steadily taking in conscious pulls like a man fighting off heat stroke. Like a man fighting off heat stroke had stopped working, and why the hell was he worried about anyone looking at him? Danny didn't matter. He was below anyone's notice. That's good. He was below anyone's notice. That's a very, like, yeah, it's like you're invisible, but that's also part of the problem is that you're invisible. Avoiding bald guy's gaze, Danny looked down at the smoke in hand, flicking the ash into the street. The filter was stained red. He'd forgotten, but he felt it in his mouth now, somehow grimy and sticky all at once. He hadn't brought it to reapply. He'd left it in his home beneath the overpass. He swore. Baldhead laughed in a way someone probably found charming. Don't worry, you're still gorgeous. Ugh. Cryptid, why? Why? Ugh. Yeah, okay. He said that twice now, and Danny never realized before how much he never wanted to hear it again. Not like this. Not when he wanted to tear his own body apart just to get away from it. Because it's conflict, Twilight. Ugh. Ah. Just reading some asshat skinhead. All right. To be fair, I did write an entire movie about Nazis and neo-Nazis, so to be fair. Don't dish it if you can't take it, as they say. But why must there... I was like, Cryptid, you did! Why must there be conflict? The plight of drama and dramaturgy. There must always be conflict. Not like this, but he wanted to tear his own body apart to get away from it. Yeah, he said, trying for sarcastic. Because it's a splatterpunk horror novel, exactly. Yeah, there will always be... Oh, splatterpunk, such a great word. He said, trying for sarcastic and missing the mark. Not like this when he wanted to tear his own body apart just to get away from it. Yeah, he said, trying for sarcastic and missing the mark. Yeah, it's sexy as hell, like Courtney Love. Tiny Irish Viking Redeem Hydrate, thank you so much. Tiny Irish Viking, welcome in. And take a drink, everybody. I am doing a lot of reading, so it does help. It does actually help a lot. Thank you so much. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, it's sexy as hell, like Courtney Love. Oh man, yeah. Now, good pull for the time. For 89, Cryptid. Danny took a long drag to stop his scathing reply. Baldhead could break Danny in half if he wanted, and who knows how many friends he had waiting inside. You're welcome. Hey, welcome in. Yeah. Always pleasure to meet any new writer popping in. Welcome. Oh, today we are reading Cryptid's, the first chapter of Cryptid's story, a splatterpunk horror novel. So it's very punk. I have a feeling we're about to see some pretty intense, we're about to see a beatdown coming. So very, very excited for that. But welcome in, and of course, feel free to read along with us, or if you're writing, we do sprints and write as well here. So, we've just been doing a lot of reading recently. So, but yeah, if you feel free to hang out with us and come along the journey of what I assume is about to be a hardcore punk beatdown. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, okay. Friends waiting inside. Okay. You want another? Baldhead asked. He must have really liked what he saw. Yeah, no kidding. Danny hadn't looked at anything reflective since he'd put himself together that afternoon. He should have said no, but he hadn't eaten since that morning, so he found himself saying yes. This time, he leaned into Danny's space to light it up, cupping the tip against the window. Oh, yeah, of course he did. Get closer. That was how Danny saw that was how Danny saw the crossed hammers tattoo, on the side of the guy's neck, partially hidden by the collar of the collar of his denim jacket, not bald, shaved. Yep. That's about right. Nice, I'm a mystery writer. Oh, nice. Oh, we love mystery too. Very cool. So all good with punk. Very, very cool. Very cool. Mystery, that's a hard genre to get right, so I commend you for that. Yeah, heck yeah, I love a good mystery. Yeah, it's not easy, definitely not an easy. It can tend to be formulaic, but I feel like it's deeply it's deeply complicated to actually make it work, in my opinion. It's one of those things where there's a lot of genre tropes and types, but it's not as easy as it looks to execute well. I mean, most artistic writing is, but I feel like mystery really, you do need to execute it really, really, really well. Okay, there we go. Okay, not bald, shaved. Thanks. Danny smiled and fought the urge to run. That wouldn't help. He'd never get a lead enough to escape. The bouncer got to them first, barely glancing at the skinhead's Texas ID. Skinhead waited in the doorway as the bouncer scrutinized Danny's fake one. Oregon? The hell are you doing here? What everyone in Oregon does. Getting as far away from it as possible. Nice. Yeah, exactly. A lot of plot points to juggling it right. Hell, hey man, always challenge yourself. It's what makes makes you and your craft better. And also, I think being a better writer, better artist, better creative, better people. Always challenge yourself. I like this whole like this just digging on Oregon cryptid. I love it. You're just I do love how much you're just like everybody shits on Oregon. That's what I've been telling myself about this damn book. You're doing a great job so far, cryptid. I mean, it's a great opener. I mean, this is one. I mean, it's you're hitting like perfect, like in line for a punk show. Person feeling alienated outside of their skin, genderqueer in a society and at a time that there's barely language for these things in Texas, and now you got them stuck with a they all because they all they wanted was a cigarette, and they're fucking stuck with a skinhead. It's great. It's fantastic. Um. The bouncer laughed, looked Danny over in a way that was either checking him out or not so subtly checking for weapons. Fortunately, the guy didn't look too close at Danny's boots. Nice, good setup. Great little setup there. What is Oregon? He asked. Nuclear family hellhole? Worse. Danny deadpans. Hippies. That's great. The bouncer gave him his ID back. You're good. Enjoy the show. Thanks, man. Danny said and winced. That boy, that was boy mode talk. At least he hadn't said it. At least he hadn't said you too. Jesus fucking Christ. Nice. Yeah, you're doing. I mean, you're doing a really good job, like with these, the presenting like the codes and like the sort of bit like gender behavioral things that like kind of just how rough it is to navigate this as presenting as one or the other. You're doing a really good job, but also like making it tense. Like it's a really tense situation, which works. It was even hotter inside than out. The shop fans someone had probably stolen barely moved a thing. Nice. Oh yeah, I know. God, who has shop in Dallas? Ugh. That's awful. Skinhead asked if he could get her a drink. Danny said, "Yeah, sure," and brushed past him to the sole bathroom, easily spotted by the line. Danny didn't have time for any fucking line. His skin was crawling. The word "gorgeous" and "sexy," a tape looping over and over. Nice. It made his bones want to walk away and leave his flesh prison behind. I do like, yeah. Ugh, flesh prison. He didn't even remember cutting the line, only that he caught the door as the previous occupant left and locked it behind him. Then he began to scrub. Wet paper towels were not the ideal way to remove makeup. Gotcha. Cool. We got a bathroom. Yep. Got a bathroom transition. Just completely get it off. Get it all off. Wet paper towels were not the ideal way to remove makeup. They scratched and they tore, irritating more than they helped. His lips were still red even after it was gone. Fucking fuck. Danny tugged off the leather jacket and tossed it into the sink. The wife beater followed. From the jacket's inside pocket, Danny pulled out a well-worn ace bandage. Nice. The bathroom door rattled. Danny told them to fuck off. The ace bandage hadn't made it around Danny's chest once when the door was forced open. It was the skinhead, credit card in hand to pop the piece of shit. Oh, God. It was the skinhead, credit card in hand to pop the piece of shit hook and to pop the piece of shit hook. Oh, gotcha. An eye lock Danny had mistakenly placed his faith in. Gotcha. Hey, you all right? Tweaking? His eyes caught up with his mouth and skinhead stopped. A violent silence sat heavy. In the single-stall, graffitied bathroom, waiting to pop. Ooh. What the fuck? Danny screeched first, as loud as Danny could. Skinhead opened and closed his mouth at times like a fish. Then the hand holding the credit card had a knife pointed at her. What the fuck are you? Are you a faggot? Fuck off, Danny shouted. No, some butch fucking dyke? I said, I can't believe. Hey! A second asshole barked from the door. Shit odds. Shit odds. He could have sworn Hammerskins had at least locked the door. Danny evened them out by ditching the ace for the knife in his boot. A butterfly he thought looked cool that he barely knew how to, or the butterfly that he thought looked cool that he barely knew how to use. Nice. When he snapped up, tits out and armed, new guy was throwing Hammerskin out with force that didn't seem possible. Hammerskins was twice his size, but the second guy had tossed him one-handed like he didn't weigh anything at all. Nice. He barked an order Danny didn't understand, too far past freaking out for complex shit like basic English, and shut the door again. It's like, yeah, man, showing up to that kind of punk show as a skinhead's not going to end well for you. I mean, you're always going to be there to start shit. Closing himself in there with him. Especially those shitty non-absorbent brown paper towels in public. Oh yeah, the take off lipstick. Yeah, that's Jesus. Yep, I've also been there trying to fix my makeup at my goth club in my youth. No easy task. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. How many times, Danny panted, do I have to say fuck off? It was Liberty Spikes, friends with green mullet. I like your naming convention for, like, you know, we don't know these characters, but just kind of like Hammerskins, you know, that kind of thing. Green mullet, Spikes, Liberty Spikes. Big fan of it. I like that gay green mullet. That's fantastic. Liberty Spikes held his hands up. Each one had bold and bright lines. Thank you. That's how I get around the everyone is the same pronoun problem. Yeah, it works. It works. And also, it's probably better in general. It keeps us clear about who, because sometimes if you're talking about multiple he's, they's, them, you know, or she's, sometimes if it's in a group, it can be disturbing which one you're referring to. You kind of have to jump through a lot of hoops to make it clear. So honestly, just giving them weird names like that is really actually, it frees you up in terms of like how you structure the narrative and structure your sentences to kind of be able to be more free in how you describe things. Liberty Spikes held his hands up. Each one had bold and bright lines of ink at his wrists, revealing only hints as his hands went higher. His nose was pierced, ears done several times over, and he didn't have a drop of sweat on him. More tattoos peeked out from beneath the black leather jacket collar. A patch on his jacket had a rat in an SS uniform getting stung. like 100% the mouse comic. Mouse. Like that kind of little rat. That's funny. Exactly, and I needed this to be tight and quick, otherwise it starts to drag. This book isn't as lyrical as Witchpunk. Yeah, I was like, this is moving really quick, and you're definitely breezing through. Yeah, you're writing at a good clip, or at least it reads at a very fast paced clip, which I mean, given the topic you're writing, it should. I think pacing wise, it should read should read punk, fast, quick rhythm, you know, things like that. He was saying something. Danny should probably be listening to that. I like that. But Danny was having a hard time breathing. Are you okay? He stressed the words enough that this guy must have repeated it a few times. The proper response would be fuck off. Danny found himself shaking his head instead. Liberty Spikes was looking at everything but Danny's tits. Danny gave him a point for that. Are you hurt? He asked. Danny shook his head again. Liberty Spikes looked from the knife to the ace. Then why? Oh, you're not a girl, are you? Danny dropped the knife. No one had ever asked him that before. Not even his foster sister, who had helped make his escape possible. How did he? He didn't. Liberty Spikes looked like a guy. He looked like any other guy. Danny shook his head, struck dumb. All right, I'm going to turn around and guard the door. No one else should come in, but just in case... Hands up, a hand still up, Liberty Spike slowly turned his back to him. Danny closed the knife and laced it back into the boot. The ace in hand took his pulse down. The fabric of a familiar ally. But after he brought it around, it felt wrong. His chest rose and fell too fast, too painful. Take your time. I'm not going to rush off and leave you here. Danny unwound it, trying to find the filthy mirror where he'd gone wrong. Won't your friends come looking for you? He scoffed. Nope, I told them not to. You didn't hear that before? Danny didn't say anything to that. Didn't want to look at it too closely. The ace still wasn't fitting right. Danny whipped it off. Fuck! You need to calm down. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm serious. You're pulling it too tight. It happens. Do you know pace breathing? Are you a fucking shrink? No. The boss read shit comes in handy. It's easy. Just breathe in through your nose, count to 7, out through your mouth for 8. Danny had this head shrunk years ago. Or had his head shrunk years ago. It hadn't taught him anything useful. I like that's a funny phrase. I like that. Danny had his head shrunk years ago. It hadn't taught him anything useful. I like that a lot. Certainly not this, but somehow, in a few minutes, Danny was breathing almost normally again. That's great. You got it, man. For a punk, you're a bit of a fucking hippie, dude. Danny sneered. Liberty Sykes laughed. Dude, you're not from around here, are you? Neither are you, Danny pointed out as he clipped the ends and took a test breath. Liberty Spikes didn't sound like Danny. Didn't sound like Hammerskins either. I'm not. I'm Brian, by the way. Danny, he said as he pulled on the wife beater, shrugged into the jacket. He should have used another fake name like he did back at camp. You can turn around now. Brian did, just as slowly as before. You look good, but a bit of advice: don't take smokes from skinheads. Brian huffed, rubbed the back of his neck. That. And do something with your hair, man. Anything but that. I almost thought... What had he thought? What had Liberty Spikes come in here expecting to find? Fuck, man. I'll figure it out. I'm not... I know. Brian finally put his hands down at his side for the first time. You alright. Just be careful. If you run into that shit again, go to the bar and ask for Johnny. You tell him Johnny needs another Bloody Mary. I love that lingo. I like that. I like those code words, Cryptid. Like that's just great. Like Johnny needs another Bloody Mary. It's like a perfect thing to say right before someone, you're calling the cavalry, like calling in the cavalry to come kick the shit out of someone. Let's see here. I mean, this is great. So Cryptid, this is fantastic so far. It breezes. I mean, this thing breezes by. You're definitely like describing Danny's like point of view and perspective. I would have zero notes about how to do it better. Oh, thank God. I thought it sounded way too cheesy. No. I mean, it's like, they're being like obnoxious. I mean, Danny's being an obnoxious punk, but that's what you're doing. That's who Danny, that's what they do. Like all attitude, all that, but that's how all these things start. You rewrote a bunch of sections today? Oh man. It reads fantastic so far. Aside from, the usual editorial awkward phrasing, it reads like a breeze. I'm not hanging up on anything really in terms of like flow and where the characters are. The scenes are moving pretty quickly. So yeah, I have zero notes in terms of how this could be better. Danny squinted. This place didn't have a cocktail bar. Right. Brian, yeah, I like that. Yeah. Brian stepped aside from the door, beckoning him. Can I walk you out? I'll keep back the mob. Danny shook his head. Nah, fuck him. Brian held out a smoke and Danny took it as he passed. This one couldn't end as badly. Have a good night, man, he said. I was speaking to the reader, not for the characters. Not for the characters, so I had to give them more space on the page to dig deep. Oh, I see. Yeah. Ghost, are you winning at babysitting? Good. Good job. Good job at keeping human alive. keep other human alive. Brian held out a smoke, and Danny took it as he passed. This one couldn't end as badly. Have a good night, man, he said. Danny stuck his mouth and said, you too, dude. When he walked out, no one said a goddamn thing. Nice. I'm a big fan of that. Gotta keep that edge. All right, we got our little chapter break here. Yeah. Yep. When he walked out, no one said a goddamn thing. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Uh, our YouTube video of the night was all about how the CIA killed Kennedys. Oh boy. Oh dear. Sick line, magnificent. Uh, LOL. You keep saying that name, and I keep getting confused. Wait, what name? What name do? Wait, what name do I keep saying? Those are your POV breaks because I can't not mark it. Oh no, that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, am I? Oh, God, that's right. I am. I am. I just was like, wait, am I? I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot that one of the characters is totally your name. I will always address you on stream as Opera Sora. It would be very funny if I just started I just started shouting that out. But that is very funny. Uh, I did not even register in my brain. Yeah, if you hear your name, Opera Soria, ignore it. It's a character. I might end up changing those character names later. Oh, I mean, no shame in that. Government naming on stream would go so crazy. Wait, government naming on stream would go so crazy. Yeah, that's true. Uh, Oh man, if you're gonna watch CIA videos about Kennedy, you should watch what was it, the Oliver Stone movie JFK. What a wild trip of a movie that is. It's like just hyper paranoid, like one of the most paranoid movies. It's up there, nowhere near as good as like The Conversation or something like that, with like Francis Ford Coppola and Gene Hackman, but it's up there. Oh my god, that's wild! I almost used my dead name because it was popular this time, but I couldn't do it. Yeah, I was like, don't do that. I mean, even if it's popular, unless you can kind of like justify it as like an affirmative distancing or something like that. But if like the name, getting hit with the name constantly over and over again is gonna bug you, there's no sense in doing that. No sense in doing that to yourself. The rest of this is pretty short. I think it's another 18. Okay, nice. Okay, all right. Where are we at here? Got another character switch. Yeah, we'll keep going. I mean, we'll probably finish pretty early in the second sprint. Wait, did I go past? No. Yeah, I was like, we're a little bit more than halfway. Okay. Tanya was talking about something to do with Missouri and bullshit. Bullshit abortion limitations. Yeah. And Johnny hadn't heard a word of it. His eyes were on the door Brian had disappeared behind, but his head was up in the fucking clouds. Tanya was supposed to be watching the skinhead that had already gotten bounced out. He hoped she was doing he hoped she was doing a better job than he was. Johnny, what are you doing, man? Focus. I like that. His head's in the fucking clouds. That's funny. I like it. That's a funny line. Yep. He was supposed to be better than this. He used to be. But lately, Johnny was falling asleep long after sunup and well before sundown. Yeah. I'm a big fan of how this, nothing should ever change about how you've opened on this character. At any stage of editorial edit, like having to do any edited passes, all that should stay the same because that is incredible. It's such a great way to open on a character. I love it. A dirty old coin would dance over his fingers while his mind wandered like a terrier without a leash into all the wrong places. Perfect image. Was this what getting old was? Losing the spark of wonder when Tanya found a new way to dismember someone. Losing that spark of wonder when Tanya found a new way to dismember someone. I love it. Blood going flat on his tongue no matter how much terror he inflicted on the piece of shit he'd picked out for dinner. Nice. Okay, nice. We're getting some vampire narration here. He kept telling himself he was just tired, but Johnny hadn't been tired for years. For the first time in a long time, he wished he could ask his maker what the fuck to do. Hey, you're gonna waste it, Tanya barked, taking the cigarette he'd neglected. It was third of the way burned through. Shit, sorry. Johnny breathed out. It rattled cold in his chest as he shoved a hand through his mullet. A door slammed shut, but it was only the other one. Brian wasn't anywhere to be seen. At some point, he must have stopped watching. Johnny swore in a language he barely knew anymore. They deserved better than this. You still got eyes on your target? He asked. Negatory, boss. Too many fucking baldies here. Should still be in the crowd, though. He couldn't find it in him to lecture her. He wasn't doing any fucking better. Well, Brian should have tagged him, so don't beat yourself up. We'll find his sorry ass. She offered up a cigarette with a mutter of thanks. He pushed it back into her. He pushed it back to her and fidgeted with the lighter instead, flicking the wheel back and forth across the stained and ripped jeans along his thigh, snapping the top shut to the moment it was lit, and then backing. Oh goddamn! Flicking the wheel back and forth across the straight. Oh, gotcha. Got the stained and ripped jeans along his thigh, snapping the top shut to the moment it lit and back again. That is a look. I'm just gonna go on a limb and say, Cryptid, you've watched people do that, because I actually knew a guy who used to do that all the time, but he would do it constantly. He wasn't just doing it to light. He would just do it. It was like a fidget thing. Way back. It was a guy I went to high school with. Yep, the Zippo fidget. Yeah, that's a. I had a buddy of mine in high school who did that constantly. Even when he wasn't smoking, he just always. She didn't need to thank him. I hope he's enjoying his undiagnosed ADHDism. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that was a lot of us back then. She didn't need you and your edgy Zippo goth friends. And that is the end of the sprint. So we will go ahead and take a break here. Start the down timer. And then we'll finish this on the second sprint. Downtime. I mean, Cryptid, I don't really have any notes aside from the fact that I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's doing great. You and your edgy Zippo goth friends. We were super cool. This is how cool kids behave when they're at school. It's how the cool kids act. All right. Thank you, Opera Soar. Yeah, managing our ad break. Yeah, no, we were just lame weirdos. Mixture of like band and yeah, okay, cool, Zilla. Exactly. At some point I'll wear, if I could see in that damn mask, I would wear it. But I can't see anything. I'm so glad this is landing well. This opening has been driving me up the wall. I mean, I think it's great. It's great. We have a tense scene. I think you're doing a really good job of describing the multiple layers of threat and just the anxiety, not just the anxiety, but like the layers of threat the character is enduring. Like you're doing a really good job setting that up. The scene, moves like a breeze. Like, how many pages was that? It was 6 pages. Yeah, that. I mean, you're just burning through it, Cryptid, like 100%. If my words are worse than usual, I plead mobile. Yeah. I mean, you're also handling a literal. You're handling. You're in charge of like a human being, Ghostly. Ghostly, your words are incredible. You inspired me a lot to get this right. You're doing great, Cryptid. Fantastic. Can't confirm was also an edgy goth kid, aka lame weirdo. Exactly, Kimara. Except I never had a Zippo. Really? You never had a Zippo? Always kind of wanted one for no reason other than to fidget with it. I had many Zippos. I was definitely a Zippo kid. I remember. I can't remember how I got this, but I got a Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop anime Zippo, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever. It was an anime Zippo, and this was back in like 2003, maybe 2004. Like nowadays, I'm sure there's a million anime Zippos, but like that was like the cool thing, you know. That was like a whole thing. Yeah. It was before Hot Topic started to do anime Zippos, but I do remember when Hot Topic started selling Zippos, yeah. Oh, I'm so glad, darling. I didn't even have a Zippo. I didn't smoke. I was the lamest goth kid. Now I'm just a tired punk elder. That's just how we are. That's how this goes, Cryptid. No shame in that. We have the elder punks. We're the cool, like, you know, look, we're in the arcane phase, and canes are badass. Goth canes, fucking badass. So if anything, we like fine wine, like an old scotch. We age, and we blossom as we age, or bloom. I guess we bloom as we age. I don't know. I feel like we're a lot better, or at least I definitely feel a lot better older than younger. Younger was a mess. But I was referring to my awful typing. I know, yeah, I know Ghostly. We know, yeah. I remember the hot topic. Yeah, I like matches for no particular reason. Ghostly likes to start fires, stuff crime clowns in closet. Ghostly's a little anarchist, just gonna go start lighting things on fire. When Twilight was a young weeb. Yeah, now I'm just an old weeb. Yeah, yeah. We got this, Cryptid. We got this. Now I want wine. Yeah, that's gotta love the wine. I missed it. What was the quote? Wait, what was the quote? Was there a quote? Did I quote something? Was there who called it out for a quote? What are we quoting? I've lost control. This is when I've lost control. I started saying Opera Soria show up at or what is the quote? Everybody. Oh, we age like fine wine. Oh, that is true. I stand by that quote. That's not even an out of context quote. I will say I stand by that quote. It's a great quote. We do. We age like fine wine. We're not one of these burn bright young and burn out. We last. We're survivors. It was one of the few times where I has incidentally complimented himself. Yeah, I can only do it by proxy. I can only do it if I include it in a group of cool people. That's how this works. Compliments can only be done amongst groups. Opera Soria, I appear anytime I am called. You're a literal you're a summon. you're a summon, Opera Soria. You're an Elden Ring summon, a spirit summon. We don't talk about don't out my name on that. We don't talk about the small fires. You get put on lists for that shit. Hey man, I outed myself on stream about the movie theater fire that occurred. So, you know, you're not the only one that's got a history with fire. Much like my darling Virgil, Ghostly will be Icarus. Two peas in a pod. But I am also always here. That's true. You're summoned, but you're also always there. Say it 3 times like Beetlejuice. I'll have to go to that timestamp on the VOD and get the exact. It was very well said. That's and that is why if it's well said, and dear streamer has said it, let it disappear into the ether. Let it exist in transience, like life itself, fluttering away into the ocean to dissolve into the greater sea of just noise, internet noise. Let it exist. It was there for a moment, and now it is gone. It is the passing of life. There. That's. Nope. Sorry, you gave us a torrent to fill with quotes. Cryptid's just like, shut the hell up. Nope. Just like, absolutely. No, I'll find it. Don't you? Opera Soria. Oh, I'm gonna find it. Man, it's crazy how you just are for this little meat thing that you grew. Are you talking about like are you having a Ghostly? Are you having like a moment seeing the insanity that is a young child and realizing that we all were that at one point? You having an existential moment? Unless you'd like us to add more insulting ones to it instead. I mean, I do appreciate the out of context quotes. They do make me laugh. But as always, the quotes are there for y'all. That's what they're there for. Children go crazy, man. That's true. Children do go crazy. Thank you all, Opera Soria, a gift to us all. Oh, that's perfect. Because you're gonna be reading about a vamp dad. Oh man, we're gonna dive into a vamp dad. Hell yes. It's wild how you just get old, grow this thing, and then you like water it and feed it like a demanding and loud house plant. Ghostly describing a kid like a loud house plant is deeply funny. Very funny. Love it. That is what it is. All right. I think I would be a great mom. That's yep. That's true. I do. Look, some people are cut out for it. Some people are cut out for raising the kids. I learned very early on both of my parents were probably not. They were not like bad or destructive. They just were. I would not say that they were definitely in that wheelhouse of people that you're like, dude, those people are good at raising kids. They're just kind of crazy. They were crazy, and the expectation at the time that my mother and my father were together was that you have kids. So they had kids, for better or for worse. Hence, probably why we were raised like sea turtles, wherever it was just a lot of good luck, Godspeed, good for you. I just called this kid a loud houseplant. Maybe good parents come from unlikely. Hey, that's true. Hard same. It was just the expecting thing. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If it was not expected to have kids in the 70s and the 80s, my brother and I would not exist. I mean, maybe because of the pressure from my father's side of the family, but I don't. We probably would not exist. I think both of my parents were far more interested in like going on adventures and being like unhinged lunatics more than they were about like getting married and having kids and all that kind of crap. But society, it's always good to know that you were the product of societal pressure, of the pressures that exist in society. Yeah. It's very funny. Well, I'm glad you exist. Thank you, Ghostly. That's what my mother says. My mother says that all the time. She's just like, I never wanted kids. Usually when she's very drunk, she'll say this, but she's like, I never wanted kids. I fucking hated kids, but I'm just so glad that you and your brother exist. I'm like, it's so that's if you want to know how conversations go with my mother when she's hammered, that's usually how they go. And then she'll come up and like shake me or something like that. That's generally the relationship. And now she's like doing the same thing with my nieces, which is extra funny. She's just like, I remember she always said if my brother and I ever became parents that she would castrate us. Um and and then my brother obviously went off and have my two nieces and stuff. Definitely a great like great grandma. She's definitely a great grandma, but she loves my niece's death. But it's definitely a little bit. She's just like your fucking brother. Just very funny, you know. Yeah, not so much anymore, but yeah, she now she'll just say it openly. But um, I will never forget my nesting partner hearing you explain sea turtle parents. She just looked me dead in the eye and said, "Is he talking about your parents?" Exactly, Cryptid. Exactly. This is a win. It's a win. These are all wins. Another streamer I know signs off by saying something like, "Remember to eat food, and if you can't manage that, at least drink some water." We're all just houseplants with more feelings. Oh, so the houseplant thing is a vibe. That's a vibe. Well done. Okay. At least she only says those things drunk. Exactly. No, she says I'm sober now. Nowadays she says I'm sober, but when I was like a kid, that used to be the thing that came out when she like had one too many. So as a kid, I'm just like, cool, mom, yay. And then of course a part of me is just like, I didn't ask for this. This thing you call life. This is on you, mother. This is on you. Anyway, all right. We should run ads. So we're gonna run ads. I'm gonna restock on water before we finish this up. We are indeed house plants with a lot of feelings. I like this. I like the idea of a house plant as a person. I'm into this. I say this with all respect to the world, Sensei. That's wild. Mama Light goes crazy. Mama Light goes hard, man. If you all think the story is my mother and my father, the stories my mother and my father have, like my everything I've done in my life pales in comparison to the crazy shit that they did. All right, I'm gonna get water, and we will dip back in and finish out the first chapter of our Vamp book. Oh God. Okay, all right. We are back, and we are going to start our second sprint, and we're going to dive on in to finish this vamp book up. All right, what do we got here? Go water yourself, Sensei Houseplant. This might be my new favorite. If I'm gonna be a sensei, if I am required to be a sensei, I will accept if it is Sensei Houseplant. It's the houseplant needs to be like the linguistic version of the bear beanie on my head. If I'm gonna be required to have anybody purportedly learn from me, I appreciate, like, it needs like houseplant or something. We need like a suffix there. Or houseplants, let's say. One of the two. Either one. I just realized I never actually redeemed. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about Cryptid. I'm glad. I probably would have totally forgotten too. But don't remember that. You know. Don't remember that I would forget. I'm supposed to be the capitalist pig here. Spend the tort coin. I'm pretty sure there was one time I straight up forgot. It's very possible, man. I don't know. I try. Sometimes I probably just completely forget. I have too much Ghostly. I don't even want to know how much you have. It's got to be in the millions. With how much I've redeemed in my lifetime, it's got to be a middle class amount. Ghostly, I can tell you're on mobile because the chaos is really dialed back. There was no toilet paper at all. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Or 9 times. What kind of houseplant am I? I don't know. I don't know what I'd be, like generic houseplant. A snake plant. It thrives off neglect. Cryptid. Oh, Cryptid. That was vicious. Well done. Well done. Brought him. I gotta applaud that. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. That is so good. It's so good. ZZ plants are goth plants. Oh, that works too. Yeah, that's right. Yep. And it can grow without a sunlight. Yep. If you water it more than once, it rots. if you shower with any, yeah, exactly. Amazing. Wait, what? Did I? No. It should auto-publish. Does it not auto-publish? No. Maybe I didn't turn that off, if that's a thing. But I never manually went in and did that. But it should. They should publish. They should be published. I think I went in and made sure that last stream was published. But it should be. If it's not, I can go in and change it. But it should be on there. Okay. I mean, now that we're back. Thank you. Sometimes I'm funny on Reddit. You're doing great, Cryptid. You just essentially what you do is you wait until you drop like the sickest burn of all sick burns. So good job. You straight up nuke chat with the best of burns. Ghostly isn't doing it, so yeah, you have to make up, Cryptid. You have to make up for Ghostly being on mobile. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a legendary status burn. All right, everybody. For those writing out there, we're gonna go ahead and start the timer. So feel free to get those words. Hopefully the writing treats you well. We're gonna finish up reading this first chapter of the Vamp book here, and then I will probably finish the book before the end of sprint. So after that, we'll probably go back to the usual sprints where I go off mic. All right. For those of you writing, happy writing, everybody. For those of you reading along, away we go. I'm looking after a baby flesh plant. That's a Cosmic Horror description. Well done. 100% Ghostly. I'm looking after a baby flesh plant is the title of a Goosebumps book. Is what that is. That is straight up a Goosebumps title. All right. Let's bring the music back up. But I still got it. Good job, Ghostly. Keeping everybody on track. All right. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Whoa. What? Did Tort just... What the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Tort just Did Tort just say Ghostly can't do it? When did that get added? I've never seen... oh, wow. Anyway. What the hell? You got denied. What was that? That is hilarious. What... Apresoria, what is Tort doing? Whoa! Tort has gone rogue, ladies and gentlemen. Tort has gone... the Tort has gone wild. Our boy, who is literally sitting back there, mind melding into his bot version. Apparently, that is very funny. Wait, can I do it? Oh shit, I can do it. That's funny. Oh, that's wild. Apparently, I work is only... I think only I can do it. It is... That has been... That... Whatever... Yeah, the work command, apparently... Apparently, it won't let Ghostly... Did Tort? Uh-oh. I have a feeling Tort might go away. The moment... that is... Okay... I think Tort just committed suicide by Apresoria, because you do not tell Apresoria that. You do not say that to Apresoria. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh, everybody. This is where we get the speech about, I brought you into this world, I will take you out of this world. From... Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I love the only or higher line. Yeah, I was like, there is nobody in chat. Nobody in chat is higher than Apresoria in terms of authority. I was like, uh-oh. This is where Apresoria gets very quiet and very cold. Yeah, I was going to say God help Tort. I have a feeling Tort might... Yeah, there is no God. There is only Apresoria. I was going to say Tort might go away for a while. I don't... I know when Apresoria is in no mood, and I am pretty sure Apresoria is in no mood for that. So I think things might... Uh-oh. Well, that's exciting. Oh, boy. Well, I'm going to go read, and I suggest all of you join us in reading, and we just ignore whatever is going on in the dark over there. Let's just turn up the volume of the music, listen to Cryptid's story, and just pretend like that's not happening. Godspeed. Good luck, bitch. That was a choice move, buddy. Oh boy. Uh-oh, the guilt is starting. All right. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh boy. And I'm sure you will make your disappointment known, Apresoria. Uh-oh. Oh boy. All right. We'll find us. All right. Yeah, we got this. There we go. Oh, that's right, because we were talking about the Zippo. She didn't need to thank him, but now wasn't the time to get sentimental. Johnny forced a toothy grin when someone got too close. Whatever the guy saw made him back the fuck up. Tanya laughed as she stumbled away, and his show of teeth felt a little less forced. He'd feel a lot better when they all had something to tear into. Nice. Flashing the fang, doing a little fang flashing. Oh, what? Apresoria, it logged you out of the control panel? Uh-oh. What? What? How is that even possible? You control that whole thing. It did. Cryptid, it full on with Jurassic Park. He's like, it's doing the stupid, like, ha ha ha, or what is it? What is the stupid, the virus thing? You've been served the Ned, yeah. Or whatever that stupid virus does on those computers. Uh-oh. Well, yeah, all right. It might, we'll see what happens, but I'm not holding out any hope that, I don't think so, Dave. Exactly. Um, this is every engineer's nightmare. How is that even fucking possible? That it logged you. I remember you specific. My creation is turned against me. Oh no, Tord is fucked. Oprosor is the only one who could defeat the AI. Oprosor can at least in terms of bots that were created. Uh, yeah, I was like, oh. I find it's very funny that it still allows me to have authority though. I'm like, is that just because I'm a streamer? Even though it's your bot, you made it. Yeah, weird. It lets me do it. I don't know if maybe that's the last. Opresoria Tord is still your bitch. Don't let him talk to you. Yeah, I was gonna be like, Tord is Opresoria's. That is. Oh, it has my token attached. I'm the broadcaster. Uh-oh. No, it's like when cats have multiple parents but only listens to one. It's shocking that it listens to me. I was like, well, it's gonna listen to Opresoria, but it forgets I have the ability to unplug it. You're that second parent, Twilight. Yeah, that means you're higher than the Void. I guess I didn't realize it was gonna go on a suicide journey, but it's going on a suicide trip real fast. Because I do not have the ability to unplug it. The one you should be appeasing is the one who does have the ability to unplug you, and you have thoroughly pissed them off. So, just like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. Back to it. I guess we'll just all quietly ignore the tort slaughter that is about to occur. Brian came back with a beer he couldn't drink and looked a beer he couldn't drink and a look Johnny didn't recognize. After 13 years, it was as impressive as it was worrisome. Johnny lit another cigarette. His eyebrows went up into his acid green curls as he exhaled a cloud of smoke, their long-held signal to kindly fucking elaborate. Nice. Tanya pushed herself off the dusty brick wall and stood up straight. Brian, what? Johnny put a hand up. The knuckles spelled F-U-C-K. Are we killing them now or later? Please say later, Tanya begged, plucking Johnny's cigarette out of his hand. She took a drag and handed it back. It's my first night off babysitter duty. I want to fucking enjoy this show, please. Later. And no, later and not them, Brian corrected. Or no, them, Brian corrected. Just the one. Johnny gave a look. That was a first two. They were too old for fists. Whatever that meant for the evening, it wasn't going to be good. Now, Brian, he's saying, you know the rules. It's the only fucking rule. Tanya nodded. No exceptions. That's not it, Brian argued. Johnny motioned to give him the floor with a dramatic flourish. Concrete, stained to hell and back in a myriad of colors like an industrial impressionist painting. They're not together, Brian finished. He'd hesitated enough that Johnny knew that wasn't all of it. But he trusted him more than anyone else. If Brian said the girl with the shaved head wasn't a target, Johnny believed him. But she had been watching them closely in the queue, and Tanya wasn't as trusting. You don't know that, and you know all of us, to pull this. Hey, Johnny barked, trying to conjure up the magic words to diffuse this before the main act went on. But he hadn't slept, and he hadn't eaten, and he couldn't think of a goddamn thing. Danny isn't a girl, Brian hissed before Johnny could figure that shit out. Tanya wasn't arguing now. She looked at Johnny. The cherry was burning his fingers. Was he hurt? Whoa! What the uh-oh. What just happened? I was like, don't worry about it. All right, apparently this is what it looks like to... It's like an anime boss battle. That's the magic behind the curtain. Got it. Yep. Ignore me. This is admin LOL. Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll just ignore that. This is what it looks... This is what cyber anime boss fights look like. Was he hurt? The place was starting to fill up. He couldn't hide a kill if he had to, but they'd have to order out for their dinner. He couldn't have the others going hungry from this fuck-up. Brian shook his head. No, boss. Shook up, but scratch-free. Johnny nodded, his old accent fading as teeth became easier to hide. All right, then. Find that piece of shit and stick to him. Already on it, Brian tapped his nose ring. Nice. I don't believe I need to tell you assholes how this goes, do I? Tanya rolled her eyes. We're not children anymore. You're children of the night! But yes. Johnny didn't say anything to that. They always would be to him. Yeah, I'm assuming Johnny's either boss and or head vampire ruler, or I'm wondering if he's the one who turned. I'm assuming, turned the others. I think it's asleep. I try to sneak now, but they didn't need to hear. You're talking about the house plant that you're caring for. Yes, yeah. Fingers crossed. But they didn't need to hear that anymore. Then they needed to know that he always gave them the bigger portions, or how many hours earlier he rose than they did every night. Tanya, who wasn't even a decade dead, nice, I like that. He wasn't even a decade dead, took the final drag of a cigarette and put it out under her boot. She drove into the pit as the first guitar riff started with the next set, hoping to leave tonight with a broken bone. Nice. Johnny could feel the bass rattling his chest as he followed after, his tired face splitting into a smile as he ducked a boot to the head. Nice. Yep, mosh pit. Maybe a mild concussion would finally grant him a good night's rest. Man, this poor Johnny, man. Johnny's having a rough time. I do like the terminology "a decade dead." It's good. It's good. Good like vampire play on how old you are. Yeah, okay, he's Vamp Dad. It's Johnny. Got it. I enjoy Tanya. Tanya's pretty great. I'm enjoying all these characters. They've all got they're being defined. We're making our little vampire crew. And how this is all gonna wrap up with our with Danny. All right, we're back to Danny. Speak of the devil. Danny was floating, tipsy on cheap beer and the rush of too many bodies shoving and shouting, but still picking one another up. It had been months since he'd let himself cut loose. Sternum still vibrating from a bass line that had shaken his doubts away. Nice, very cool. I love that. It left him free to stumble home with a giddy grin, tapping out drum beats on his thighs. Then someone laid a hand on his shoulder. Danny whipped around, no longer grinning. What the fuck? It was the guy from before. The one who'd given him a smoke in girl mode. You lost, sweetheart? Was he? Danny looked around. No, he was going the right way. I'm not. Fuck off. There's nothing out that way, girlie. Danny snorted, crossing his arms over his chest. Well, fuck face, that makes me nothing then. Nice, good. He took a step back. So why don't you toddle off to yours and I'll go to mine? You're really good at I really like your punk. You're like aggro punk dialogue cryptid. You've got that nailed. It's very angsty teen punk kid. Like, that makes me nothing then. That's like peak angst punk writing for sure. Very Straight to Hell, if you've ever seen that, or Repo Man. It's got those vibes. Big fan. Thank you, writing Chase for years made easy. Got it. Yeah. It's good stuff. The concerned facade was swallowed up by a mean sneer. A metal object in his hand caught the light. Danny backpedaled into something solid that bear hugged his tits. Cigarette guy hit him with something hard enough to knock the wind out of him, like falling out of a tree. Danny hadn't even clocked the brass knuckles. Now he was going to die. He hadn't even gotten half a year of freedom. Trying to break the hold did nothing but make Cigarette Nazi laugh and hit him again. Something cracked. The fuck did that hooker back in Oregon tell him? Tell him her first week? Go limp, play dead if you have to. Jesus Christ. Yep. Oh, yikes. Danny did. Whoever had him swore and tried to readjust. It was all he needed to twist just enough to let himself fall to the ground in a graceless heap. He didn't know whether to run or stay down. His left hand was closing around the knife when the boot when a boot hit his back hard. He puked over the concrete, but the knife was warm in his hand, and then it stopped. Someone was cackling. He thought he heard, "Hi, fuckface," was it? But it was too hard to tell over the screams. He felt footsteps on the ground, a lot, too many, but none of them hit Danny. Someone was saying his name, and he stuck his knife out at them. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. Can you hear me? Can you get up?" He shoved himself over, feet under, and crouched on the sidewalk, knife at the ready. "Liberty spikes." "Brian?" Danny's voice was too high-pitched. His mouth tasted like vomit. Liberty Spikes smiled. His teeth were covered in blood. It smeared his chin. "You're still breathing." Danny coughed, and it felt like getting kicked again. "Brian," someone sang, "dinner's getting cold." Danny heard footsteps behind him, saw Brian's eyes go wide, and he didn't even think. He just lunged out and stabbed, and didn't stop, until someone else hit him, and Danny went down flat on his ass. Brian threw the skinhead to the ground. Green Mullet grabbed the guy's head with a grin like he had back in the pit, and said, "Aw, thanks, dessert," and snapped his neck with no effort at all. He spotted the guy bleeding out, groaning on the ground, and shook his head with a disappointed sigh. "All right, now, who played with their food?" He looked at Danny. Danny waved at him with his knife, which he only now realized was drenched in blood, like he drunk his whole hand in a butcher's bucket. Whew. Great scene, by the way, Cryptid. It definitely, if you've ever had like someone, it definitely like you feel it, like the beatdown. Like I viscerally, I know that you described that really well. What it's like to essentially curl up while someone's getting ready to beat the shit out of you, and then like the vomiting, and then hearing that, and then also but getting the kind of vampire playfulness out of that. It works really well. It moves fast too. I was gonna say you're moving at a good clip. You've done it. I have escaped. Good job, Ghostly. Good job escaping. You've made it. You're free of the houseplant. Danny waved at him with his knife, which he only now realized was drenched in blood, like he'd drunk his whole hand in the butcher's bucket. Green Mullet smiled bright and let the body fall with a sickening thud. "Hey, that was you?" Danny crawled back until he hit a wall, a real one this time. Brian's Liberty Spikes were still sticking up as he bent over the guy Danny had attacked. He couldn't see what Brian was doing, but the dying guy stopped kicking. "It's okay," said Green Mullet, hands up, like he hadn't just killed a guy with them. Just like covered in blood, like, "Hey, it's okay. It's all right." Just I like the idea of just how chill these vampires are, just throwing up their hands, being like, "Hey man, don't worry, it's cool, everything's fine," as they're just like Carrie style drenched in blood. I love it. Danny thought the guy's teeth were getting shorter as he dropped to one knee next to him. "That was really great stuff. You okay?" Danny shook his head. Green Mullet frowned. "You need a doctor?" He shook his head. He wasn't bleeding out, and he was still breathing. Cracked rib, maybe. Nothing big. "Okay, that's good. That's real good, Danny, right?" Yeah, he creaked. "I'm Johnny," he said, putting a bloody hand to his chest. There was something pink and stringy hanging off his fingers, and it was still the greatest human comfort Danny had ever been offered. "You already met my pal Brian, and that," he thumbed over his shoulder to the woman ripping the heart out of someone's chest and squeezing it into her mouth, "is Tanya." What a choice moment to introduce that character, Cryptid. Absolutely perfect. Wholesome, inclusive murder. The best type of murder. Love it. Yes. What a fucking moment, right? Just like, and that person over there, and she's just like, like yanking like the heart out, just like full on Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones, just like beating as she's like, "Yo, sup?" Love it. Is Tanya. Danny waved. Tanya waved the pulpy remains back and said, "Nice to meet you, sweetie." Great. "You want to lift home?" Johnny asked. Oh, this is fantastic. Good question. Good question. Come back to camp covered in blood. Would they throw him out, turn tail and run? Would he bring the pigs to their little haven? I don't have one, Danny said, and it wasn't a lie. Not really. You can, Johnny offered, holding out a hand. You hungry? Danny looked back at Tanya and thought he might puke again. Johnny chuckled. How about a dinner? Milkshake? Anything you want? Comes with clean clothes, too, and a safe place to sleep. Danny took his hand. Nice. I was gonna say Ghostly's like, yeah, Tanya's I can see why Tanya's a favorite. That's great. Absolutely great. The Southern Belle of the group. Well, just like splitting apart some neo-Nazi, tearing out his heart. I love it. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I have like no notes for this cryptid. You're moving at like, you're 11 pages in and you're off to the races. So, I mean, you set the scene. You set the scene perfectly. Yeah, it was like Johnny, what a charmer. It looks like, is Tort back? Resurrected Tort. And I haven't even got to establish the romance yet. That was just, yeah, I was like, I mean, you nailed tone. You're 100% on point tone. Your tone, your mood, your handling of those things is spot on. You've got the humor. You've got the angsty edge. You've got that. The world is reinforcing it. What little we know. And also, you're kind of like, you're doing a really good job, like, you're doing a good job kind of building around, kind of, conventions, like narrative conventions. With vampire stories. So I mean, you're nailing it. I don't have any notes. I really don't have any. Everything was clear. Your pacing is, you're moving at a clip. If like you're going real fast. So it does. The first chapter feels like a punk song. So in that case, I would say you're doing 150 beats per minute. 160 to 200 power chord beats per minute. You're just plowing. You're plowing through, and it's not subtle, which is good. But you're letting. I feel like you're letting there be room for the subtlety to come through, at least in terms of the expanding character dynamics, which is, I think, kind of, if you're going like Lost Boys, which is kind of what Lost Boys does, where it starts off as this real like boom, 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 and then it kind of slows down, and we kind of get into kind of the ennui, I guess, the ennui of the vampire life, like that kind of thing. But I'm pretty sure he goes on that motorcycle race like real quick in that movie. Thank God I was worried. Yeah, it definitely does not drag. You do not have a problem with it dragging at all, because you don't meet Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy, is this character actually named Pretty Boy? Because that would be amazing. Opera Sword. Okay, so he's fixed. All right, Ghostly, you should be able to have control of Tort now. Yeah, I mean, it worked for me, but yes, later it gets more like a hangout book. Got it. Yeah, he does. He makes moon eyes at David so fast. Okay. Interesting. Okay. His name is Nicky, but that's the nickname. You had to, Pretty Boy. So Pretty Boy is a good like a crew nickname, I would say. But this is fantastic, Cryptid. It's great. Yeah. Gotcha. David Lost Boys. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. David. Yeah. I was gonna say that it moves very fast, if I remember correctly. But Pretty Boy. Okay. Pretty Boy is named Nicky. Got it. Yeah, no, you're doing it's a great opener too. What a fantastic opening chapter. Yeah. I'm excited to see where you go with it. Great. I mean, it's great characters. You define your characters very well. Brian's a great one. Brian definitely seems like a little bit of a caretaker. Even though I guess Johnny kind of is too, is like got dad vibes, but I like Brian a lot. Brian, the scene between Brian and Danny in the bathroom is fantastic. I feel like that's really good. And the genderqueer stuff is in the opening wasn't too. No, I don't think so. I know it's gritty, but it felt like it. No. I think you need to hit hard on that so it lingers, because we want to know. I one think if you didn't, that the bathroom scene, and I mean a lot of that gender queer stuff is the stuff that sets the tension in the line. It's not just it's because there's an added layer of problem there that is important, which is it's not just that they're queer. It's like, and you know, neo-Nazis wouldn't like that. It's the fact that there's a gender issue going on here. There's a gender expression going on, and the conflation of those things is what's putting them in danger with um with this like neo-Nazi, like how essentially how you get in that position. So I feel like you kind of need that, and you need to like have those explicit anxieties really well spelled out, at least for like, I feel like it makes it clear to readers that aren't fully familiar with it, but also will be more identifiable with readers that are gonna like identify with this a lot more. So Brian is his second in command. He's also trans mask, so that's why he's immediately takes it takes a shine to Danny. That makes sense. Okay. Oh, good. I was worried it would land too heavy. No, I don't think it lands too heavy, because it's not indulgent, and you're describing it in terms of their internal anxiety, or at least Danny's internal anxiety, which he's constantly wrestling with, and like why going to the show is already at risk for him. So, it makes sense. I wanted to both show the danger and also let Danny beat it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you show Danny. Danny's resourceful enough to overcome it on his own, but also at the same time, how like it's at a constant struggle. You have to like constantly have your head on a swivel. You can't let your guard down at all. And it also makes the appeal of being in a vampire crew that much more, particularly a queer vampire crew, because like now now you don't have to worry. Now you can walk the, that's the appeal, the typical vampire story, which is the I want the power to be able to be free, to be myself, to be able to express myself, to take that power, or at least the modern incarnation of the vampire story. Yes. Yeah, you exactly. You have the power. It gives you the power to keep yourself safe because you're the predator. That's the whole bit. Finger guns. Yeah, gay vamps bite back. Yep. That's the theme, is like there. That's the kind of what you're trying to develop and capture. So, I would say, yeah, I got no notes. Fantastic work. It reads like a breeze. And I like the attitude. Your in-textual attitude is great. The voice is strong. The fact that you write in that kind of voice with that kind of attitude, it's perfect. It lends itself to the world. It gives your breathing voice into the actual world itself, which is good. So, it's great, Cryptid. I love it. Absolutely fantastic work. All right, we got like 11 minutes left in the sprint, so I am going to use that time to go off mic. My voice is getting a little tired, and we will I guess do the words for a little bit at least. Thank you. The playlist helped keep speeded up. I think I wrote his fight scene to Meatloaf. Hell yeah, Meatloaf. Fuck yeah. But it worked well. Of all things, but it worked. Hey man, sometimes that's what it takes. You never know. It's certain songs have like a beat that really land well for you. So, all right, I'm gonna go off mic. We're gonna wrap up this sprint before we start the last one. But we'll meet back. We'll check back in 10 minutes. Happy writing, everybody. Cryptid, thank you so much for letting me read this and letting us read it on stream. It is an absolute delight. It was a great story. Yeah, no notes. No notes. Yeah, agreed. Fantastic work. Yep. Yeah, really good work. Really good work. All right. All right. I'm going to off mic. Happy writing, everybody. We'll meet back in 10. All right, there we go, everybody. Poop-a-doo. We'll start the down timer. Ba-bam. Oh no. Oh boy, I have a feeling Ghostly is about to have a major existential crisis. Anyway, we're gonna start the down timer. Hang out here for 10 minutes, and then we'll do one final sprint where we will be off mic doing some words. Well, I'll be reading, but you all can do the words. You'll be proud to know this song is in the Vampa. Oh, really? California Uberalis? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. This was like, I'm pretty sure I still have this CD. I think it actually might be at my mom's. But, I listened to this CD. This CD almost like broke. I listened to it so much. It was one of those. I loved this album. You're too young for this shit? Oh dear. Ghostly's having a time. It is a storm brewing, so I feel it in my knees. You could blame it on the storm, Ghostly, but it might just be that maybe kids are a lot of work. kids somehow just, no matter what, by proxy, they make you feel old. Although, oh, actually, oh yeah, there was a bunch of guys. So there's a part where the lead singer from the Dead Kennedys is making fun of people doing like the Nazi thing, and he's like, "Look at you idiots doing the Hitler salutes. We're gonna sing a song for you called 'Ill in the Head,' because that was a whole thing in the '70s. Punk culture had a lot of crossover with people trying to be angsty. Like, even if they weren't neo-Nazis, they would try to use a lot of the imagery as a sort of like to be like an edgelord about it in a way. It's why Sid Vicious used to wear a swastika, and the Sex Pistols would too. It was kind of like a weird take on performance art. It's very unique only to the 70s, but although I'm totally forgot to run the ad break last time. Oh no, really? I don't know. Did ads run during the sprint? Oh, I feel bad. I don't think they did. I don't know. We got like 27 minutes. I mean, we'll run it at the end of this, but I did a lot of squatting today, getting those good up close low shots. Good job, Ghostly. You were doing cam. Yeah, nothing's gonna make your body hurt more than camera work, and it doesn't matter how young you are. That's just gonna happen. You're gonna be you're gonna feel it when you're doing camera stuff. Oh, are you guys having the heat wave break storms there? Are folks having storms right now from like the post heat wave thing? No, but I said 7 minutes last time and then didn't realize it was, oh, gotcha. Right. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, it's fine. As long as it's really all that matters as long as we can run ads. Ads can run whenever I'm talking. Like, that's fine. People don't need to listen to me, but it's mostly just so people don't get hit by ads in the middle of the sprints to like throw them while they're writing. At one point I straight up laid flat on my back in the pit to get a good angle of tower. Yep. That's how you do it, Ghostly. You are doing well. You are doing well at the learning to be a good you're learning how to be a good cinematographer and a good cam op. Ghostly went and filmed 60 feet in the air atop a wooden tower. Hell yeah. Oh, you know what? I was gonna say, like, I tried to, because I know I had talked about the train thing. Right? You gotta get out there, get in there. I was like, I'm pretty sure I could try to find that shot. Let me see if I can find it. Because yeah, you got to be able to go out and get shots out in the oh, there we go. Good job. But yes, Ghostly, these are the things that you need to do. You need to be able to go up to the towers, get down if there's ditches. One of my favorite types of shots, if you can ever get under, if guys are jumping over you, getting a shot from below as they're running over, that's always a good one too. Big fan of that. It was glorious. I'm so proud of you, Ghostly. The heat dome is bringing storms as it collapses. Yeah, ours were wild, but I know it harder. It's harder further north. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you've got no trenches. Damn. Damn it. At least you got to go up on the tower. Please enjoy. We got no thunder. I was a little bummed. Yeah. Enjoy the storms. Storms are great. I miss storms living in sunny California, where there are no storms. So there's a rule. There's a rule about imagery, Ghostly. It's famous advice that was given from John Ford to Steven Spielberg and has been immortalized by David Lynch's portrayal of John Ford in Spielberg's movie. But anytime you're creating an image, and if you're shooting a landscape at all, if the horizon is in the middle of the frame, it's not interesting. So essentially your vanishing line, your horizon line, if it's low in the frame, it's interesting, and if it's high in the frame, it's interesting. Essentially what it means is don't ever shoot anything flat and against a wall. I also slid down a rock gully. A first sergeant said I was a rock star. I will you are a rock star, Ghostly. Yeah, I was going to be like, you are a guy. You're a rock star. You're running around filming all kinds of badass stuff. Good, yeah. Go kick ass. I'm assuming a rock gully is like a. Are those the things they climb? Or no, it's one of the things. Or is it one of the things they slide down on the backside? I agree, but also it's for corpos who like clean things and uninteresting. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like there's ways to make that work, though. There's ways to make it work. I mean, if you're up on a 60-foot tower, you're probably shooting down, so the horizon will be high up in the frame. Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yeah, it depends on, like, what they want, in a way. Sometimes you can sneak stuff in there, though. That's usually where... Really where the magic is how you sneak it in there. Oh, it's a gully. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, the ropes bridge span, and then it walked fast. And then it was way faster to go through than over. Gotcha. Yeah, that's great. Look at Ghostly's more hardcore than all the army, all the guys you're filming. Ghostly prides herself on being part mountain goat. That's how you know you're a wildling, like mountain people. Yeah, my mom used to call our whole family mountain goats because we do that. We would walk. We're like really good at traversing, going up and down. So you got to be able to do that if you're going to be filming out in the woods. So it's good. If you're a mountain goat, you're in the right business. Is that what it is? Is it like recruitment ads? I get it from Sensei, clearly. Get it from yourself, kid. Get it from yourself. I was like, are they shooting recruitment ads, or are these like internal corporate promos? Oh, it's videos. Oh, really? Oh, they can buy that? No shit, really. So like essentially they get to buy like their boot camp. They get to buy boot camp videos. That is very adorable. That's kind of that is wow. I never would have guessed that. I mean, that's army merch. I was like, but it's your own personal memories in the army merch. That's what it is. That's wild. Okay. That's very cute. It's like I get a lot of "Hey Mom." Oh, that's cute. I mean, yeah, you get to send it home. Oh, that's adorable. I do. I do like that. That's cute. Yeah. That's very sweet. What a time we live in. Can you imagine? I bet you there were probably like drill sergeants back in the 60s and 70s who would be like, this is just making men weak or some shit. It's cool that you can do that. It's pretty adorable. They wave at the camera, ask for group pictures. They're cute kids. Yeah, it's funny. You're the one, if it's interesting doing it in boot camp, but you'll notice if you have a camera wherever you are and you start filming things, you will notice people will start playing for the camera. They just do it naturally. I found that out in India really quickly. Like, people will come up to you and start playing for the camera. Like, they want their they don't want the picture. They just want their pictures taken. It's really interesting. They want their pictures taken. They want to like, they'll just start doing something fun. You should, if you ever get a chance to, just go into a public space out there and just pretend like you're filming something, and not like a live streamer filming, like you're actually like filming a thing with a camera, and you'll notice people will start doing stuff. It's really, particularly kids more than anything will be the ones that want to play it up for the camera, but a lot of people will. It's kind of fun to watch. It's pretty interesting. All right, everybody, we're gonna do it. We got one more sprint before we end today's stream. Oh, we got ads. Okay, so ads. So get a drink, get something to eat, or stretch your legs, and we will dive on back in to our sprints. Bow, bow, bow. Do I have? I think I've got enough water. Thank you, Apresoria. I'm really glad you're getting to do that, Ghostly. I'm really glad you're getting to do like this camera stuff. It's cool. And now you'll like be able to get more familiar with that as like a technology and as a tool, and then you can use it to your own ends artistically for what because always remember you're gonna learn things about like you'll learn to use the tool and what you can do with it, but then you can start to imagine how you can use it or what you can do with it in your own way, not necessarily for making movies or anything, but you can figure out ways that you can add to it for your writing. It's interesting. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't hate my job anymore. I mean that'll do it. I'm distracted by my design doc. Oh no, Apresoria! Ugh, I know. You don't like that front-end design stuff. I feel bad for you. That's wonderful, Ghostly. One big win, you don't hate your job. You actually get to learn new skills for things that you find interesting, and you might be able to use it for, artistic things in the future. That's really the most important thing I learned, particularly when I started doing corporate video and running around, was like, as much as like it may not be exactly what you want to do, or if you're learning new tech or new things like that, you can always try to figure out how to incorporate that into what you want to try to do artistically, and just try to make the bullshit jobs we all have to do, try to make that worth your time for the things you do want to do. And if you can make those two things cross, the more you can make those two things cross, you kind of are, that for me that's like a quote unquote life hack, is you can kind of make that, you're not feeling like you're totally just like, I'm doing this for the paycheck. Like you're actually learning a skill or developing something. I'm very happy that it's at least making me more comfortable for when I do start trying my own ventures. Good. Yep. That's good. It's good. And that's important. Oh no, Ella, this is an API design doc, very technical. So okay. Gotcha. So it's, yes, anything that's hyper technical is Apresoria's wheelhouse. And as much as mine's been bumming me the hell out, editing has made me such a better writer. So it helps you when it starts to wear on me and large. It's rough to, it's too bad that it's been hard on you recently, Cryptid. I feel bad. I feel like work's been hard on everybody. A lot of my shit has not been going great in terms of like work, like actual work stuff. So it's just definitely wears you down. And it lets me be decently creative. Yep. Like our editor doesn't mind creative angles entirely. I just can't get crazy. Yeah. That's just always be willing to always push up against that wall, Ghostly. Always try to push it. And the gentler yet more consistent you push, you'll probably start to notice things might give a little bit more. What an interesting ad break. 5 ads, not a single word was spoken. Oh, that's a trip. On the cameras in public note, a friend of mine has been trying to get into street photography recently. Says every time he goes out, there's always at least one yo camera guy, take my picture guy out there, arguably some of his best photos. Yeah, people love it. It's really, it's a whole thing. People really do. Some people, you always get the people who hide, but some people really do really want their picture taken. It's a thing. It's a thing that we react to. All right. We're going to dive in. This will be our last sprint of the evening to send everybody off for the weekend on good vibes. So hopefully the words, if you're writing, treat you well. If you're drawing, the drawing goes well. If you're programming and or doing whatever weird alchemical magic Opera Story is doing, that goes well. And yeah, happy writing, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. And away we go. right, everybody. That is the end of that sprint and the end of Friday's stream. But hopefully, at least in that last sprint, everybody got a little bit of work done, some words, some experience. I was mostly just being a chatty Cathy. But I've seen that movie 2.5 times in my life. That's got to be the most times anyone has ever seen it. Of the Rubber, yeah. The fact that you've seen Rubber still to this day is such a bizarre choice. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, no, Jurassic Park, formative film for me to see as a child. But big time movie vibes. Yeah, 7 years old is I watched some weird shit when I was a kid, but definitely not Rubber. So yeah, it definitely it's in there. It's definitely in there. It's definitely a brainworm that got in there and has clearly defined certain elements of whatever you are, Ghostly. Hopefully we'll have some time for a movie night. Yeah, soon. I'm thinking of trying to set something up next week to do, like, instead of a Friday stream, doing like a Friday like watch party or something like that. We'll see how once I have a better idea of what the week looks like next week, we'll try and shake something out so we can do like a Lost Boys night. Yeah, that'll be the plan. But in the meantime, I hope everybody, I think X-Files at 6 is what got me, and the rest was all Brooks and Python. Yeah. Yep. I came to X-Files a little bit late. I watched some episodes, but not like, nothing crazy. I wasn't like super duper deep into the X-Files stuff. But Python was big. Python was a big one. Love you. See you later, Croc again. All right. Yeah, I know you did Opera Story. You and your mom watched all kinds of wild shit. All right. Anyway, we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna go make dinner. Yeah, an Alien, because Alien is one of the greatest films ever made. Yeah, if we do start a like Wildlight collection, Wildlight Criterion thing, you can guarantee you, if we do with the top favorite films of all time, it's probably going to start with Alien, because Alien is end all be all one of the best. All right. Anyway, hydrate, take your meds, do all the goodies. I will see you all later. And yeah, have a good weekend. And we'll catch you all next time. All right. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And we will catch you on the flip side. Happy writing. Have a happy weekend. We'll see you all later. Adios, everybody.